What is up, guys? Welcome to Ordinary Excellence. I'm going to be one of your hosts, OG Hollis. To my left, you're right here. We've got Big Mike.
What up?
Right here in the center, sharing the spotlight with me, we got Master Chief.
What's up?
And then joining and putting the headset on, the master of IT and the guy who makes all this possible, my man, Tiny.
Thanks, guys. Oh, confidence is swirling here. Oh,
So here on this podcast, what we strive to do is there's gonna be times that it's just us kicking it, talking about different things, different topics that's going on, and kind of things that pique our interest. And then other times we'll be bringing in guests that have success in something, that are just ordinary people, that they're not movie stars, they're not professional athletes, they're not somebody you're going to see on TV, but they're people that are making a difference in the community, or they're making a difference at their place of work. They're being a leader. They have people that look up to them, and they've worked hard throughout their life and strive to become proficient and become very well established in what they do. And so all of us here have worked towards doing something like that for ourselves. We're going to learn a little bit of that about ourselves. We're going to have a lot of fun chopping it up, talking about it all in the process.
right.
Yeah, so
Well explained.
Good stuff. So this is episode 0. Not a lot of prep has gone into this. However,
None.
None at all.
Yeah, if any.
We're kind of winging it here. So,
first.
But we've had a busy week. Mr. Big Mike here and Master Chief were in, what was it, New Orleans this week?
Louisiana, New Orleans.
What were you guys
Baton
doing up
Rouge.
there?
Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Helping the community, fixing their appliances,
yeah.
Okay.
eating some good boudin,
Yes.
Heck yeah.
crawfish.
Okay.
It was a good trip.
You know, I really like people with Louisiana accent. I don't know why, but even if I imitate, I just like one of my favorites.
yes.
Yes, that accent is. I like those
You
accents.
just talk to somebody from Louisiana with a good like French like accent like they got.
100.
Oh my gosh,
The best, man. That's why Stale Cracker's so popular, man. You can't help but tune in whenever you hear him going off. Mike.
Yeah.
Still what?
Stale
Cracker?
Cracker?
Yeah, you know about Stale
I
Cracker?
don't know. Still cracker.
Who's still crack? I don't.
He's the guy. Dude, he's the guy that carries like the big.
He's the guy.
So he's got the big boots and like the big like
He did
shovel and
that,
he's like shoveling
Yeah,
a ton
I
of
know who you're
crawfish.
talking about.
He
Yes.
did that charity event, right? That he was in downtown New Orleans.
Oh, I don't know. Possibly.
He was
that's-
feeding everybody.
Yeah, he was feeding everyone.
Yeah.
I know who y'all
That's
talking
pretty
about.
Yeah, Stale
I didn't see
Cracker,
that.
he's definitely somebody that we need to get on here someday. He's
Oh,
made
he'd be
it.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean, you
Stale
talk about
Cracker.
somebody that started from the bottom and just
Yep,
was
yep,
totally
yep.
himself, kept it real, posted about it. And now he's got his own line. He gets tens of millions of views on YouTube.
He has
Yes,
his
he
own
does.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
got his own
does.
Yeah,
seasonings,
sure does.
apparel, doing it big, man. Also,
Yes.
Joe Chef started out at Mikata. He's another guy that
Yep.
we'll have to get on here. The hibachi chef out of Dothan, Alabama. That
Oh yeah.
we saw him when he was still working at Mikata, and now he has branched out on his own and has started his own business. He went out
Yep.
to Uvalde, Texas, after that tragic shooting that took place a few months back. Cooked for all of those people for free and did it strictly out of the goodness of his heart. Funny story about Joe from Mikata, though. We went and were some of his customers and had a great time with him, and he put out his Facebook page for us to go follow it. So we went and followed his Facebook page, and no more than 2 weeks after that, he posted pictures of his face totally busted up, bloody nose, black
Oh,
eye,
shoot.
I remember that.
all this. I mean, he looked like he'd gotten jumped by 6 gangsters. It was crazy. And what he told in the story on the post was that he and another chef at Mikata's had a beef up there for a while. And after his shift that night, when he went into the kitchen, the other chef, attacked him with a knife in a pan, like a frying pan, or something, and just beat the crap out of the guy. And so that was probably one of the things that led him to leave Mikata and start his own business. So sometimes
crazy.
it has to go bad
I didn't
before it
know
can
that.
go
Wow.
good. Yeah,
That is
Yeah,
I had no idea.
it's crazy. I'll have to show you.
I've
the
never even
pictures
heard of
and
Joe
stuff.
Chef. I don't know if I've even all
You
the
wasn't
times.
with us when we
I've been
went
in
to
the comments with y'all so many times. I have no
No, you
idea
just
who
don't
it is.
probably don't.
I remember he's a funny dude. I'm surprised that guy doesn't do stand up. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you said Joe Chef, I thought it was me.
Well, he kind of is. He's funny as hell.
Yeah.
But
it is.
So listen, Louisiana. When we went there, we were there 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Awesome.
So
I
we
drank
stayed
the
in
whole
Baton
time.
Rouge the first. We stayed in Baton Rouge the first night, and what happened was we got down there.
Baton Rouge is where we went the first night.
Yeah, so we went. We were gonna eat.
The Marriott.
We stayed in the nice hotels because they had a restaurant north of the bar. I don't know why we stayed there, and then we went to.
I
We
was
went-
gonna see where you went with that. I didn't know if you was gonna tell the story or not.
So we went to eat. I just go tell the story. Look,
We went to Hooters.
We went to Hooters and we had some beer and some chicken wings. Hunter had
No, come on now. Let's go.
okay.
You gonna tell me what I've been drinking?
Brandon,
Look, I had a couple of tequila shots.
he had four
and
beers,
a couple of beers.
4 beers and 4 shots of tequila.
Now we're talking.
And we're
Yeah,
not
that sounds like
talking.
a party.
We're not talking little shots. These were. I was going. It's like,
Well, you know, whenever you just drink it, you just
So
see
listen,
it.
You go hard. You
so
don't go.
Hunter's handling it pretty good. He's not stumbling around. He's normal.
Good.
I
Thank
had
you.
1 beer. He goes, "You only."
Yeah.
And then next door was a pool hall. Hunter goes, "Got."
Yeah,
I said,
I
said,
wanted
"Man,
to.
I'm not really good with pool, but we'll go play some pool."
Yeah.
So we got the balls. I go over there and look. Hunter's ordering another shot.
Yeah,
Big,
I did.
big glass with beer.
This one was actually bigger too. It was like
Yeah.
weird. It's like, you know, typically a shot's gonna come in like a little
so-
glass,
oh,
a little
geez.
1 ounce glass or whatever. They gave me like a Crown mixed drink glass and like poured it like
All the way to
halfway
the
up,
top.
if not above halfway.
So I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking this is gonna be a
Yeah.
crazy night.
You're in Louisiana once, right?
Hunter looks at me and goes, "I'm a professional.
Yeah. Well, I might have been exaggerating.
doing this all my life."
Oh.
He said, "I hadn't did it in a while, but I've been doing it all my life." Okay, well, let's play. Played the first game. Hunter got all his in. I said, "Don't."
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was looking good.
He hits that 8 ball, knocks the 8 ball in, and scratches.
I did that the first 3 games.
First 3 games.
3 games straight?
Yes.
Scott
my
won without even
God.
trying.
And then we got to the 4th game. He won. He said, "I'm playing another one." I said, "All right." I think he won the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's 2-3. And then we went to play the third one. Same.
Yeah, it was pretty bad
Scratched
now
it
for me.
again.
Yeah, pool table wasn't good.
Look, me and Hollis, the first night me and Hollis met,
Yeah.
we went to this club and it was just packed full the whole time.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of nervous, and I don't even really know Hollis that well, you know. So we get in there, and we're having fun. We're kind of, you know, just hanging out, dancing and whatnot. Well, we pull up to this pool table, and there's like 6 people.
Did you say dancing?
Yeah,
Were
we're
y'all slow
dancing.
dancing?
No, you know,
What club was that?
What club were we at?
we were at Players.
Players Saloon, shout out
your-
Panama City,
Was your
Florida.
girls with you?
Yeah.
Yep, the girls are with
Oh,
us.
okay. I thought we were going somewhere else with that. I didn't think
No,
that.
we were all good,
I
man.
thought you were going to say we met at the splash bar.
Look, we're all good, man. So, anyways, we're in there, man. There's this group of people, and they're playing pool, and they come up to me and Grant. 'Cause me and Grant, like, man, we want downs, and they're like, well, to have downs, we're playing for money. And I was like, we were like, oh, look, 20 apiece right now. Never even seen Grant play pool or nothing.
We don't blink an eye at gambling.
So I want to say
Yeah.
this.
And we was like, you know what?
Wait.
Sure.
Grant agreed to lose $20.
Look, I'm only 5'8", but I'm about 6'4" when I'm standing on my stacks of
Listen.
money.
Grant was out to prove something because he went in there and took house.
Thank you, Hunter. Move closer to the
Sorry.
mic.
Grant went in there and took. He was
Yeah.
making bank shots.
Was he?
Won $40 right then and there from these people,
Right off
and
the
then
rip.
from then on, these people
Wow.
accepted us into their group, and we just hung out with first night.
That's awesome.
It was pretty awesome. It was like a bonding point for me.
Well, I want to say this: when we were in Louisiana, we were playing. Hunter did want to bond with these two older black gentlemen playing at the other table, and I looked at him and I said, "Hunter, let's go see." I said, "Hunter, I beat you 3 times and haven't only knocked in 2 balls." I said, "We are not going to go play with those."
These guys knew what they were doing too. They look good. They brought their own pool sticks in. You know when you see somebody bring their own pool stick in. It's
Yeah,
like
I said we're not doing that.
Yeah,
So we did. We
Yeah.
went home. Hunter says, "We're gonna go back to the room. We're gonna watch the movies." I said, "Watch no movies."
Straight to bed.
Yeah.
We just went in. And then we went to New Orleans and stayed in a haunted
Hotel.
hotel.
It was awesome.
Man.
Right off the
This
right,
is-
right in the French Quarter.
Yeah, it
The
was
French
crazy.
Quarter.
Yeah,
French Quarter, eh?
The quarter.
yeah. So we stayed there. Believe it or not, when we walked in, we're going, "Why nobody there with me and Hunter?"
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that's eerie.
Yeah, it was eerie. And the lady, we went downstairs right afterwards. And she's gone, and the office door's locked.
Dude, this lady was creepy. She was like,
Did y'all see any ghosts?
like crazy. Yes, like that, dude. It was like,
Oh,
wow.
Look, it was great. It was a,
They
they say,
tell us what y'all saw there. I mean, I saw a Snapchat looked a little creepy. That
yeah,
you sent me.
well, we
You seen a
did.
couple of shadows.
Dude,
Yeah,
I saw
we
some
were.
eyes in that Snapchat.
I
I didn't
said,
see no eyes, but I seen some shadows moving in the
When we-
hallway. But the thing is there was nobody in our
I told
section
no,
building.
we were the only ones in all the rooms upstairs. And I told Hunter, I said, Hunter, do you see? I said, "Do you see that?" Hunter, no, he looked asleep. And then sure enough, when I stopped that movie, get up, turn the lights. Guess what we did? We slept with the TV and lights on all night. We didn't turn them off.
It,
Left
it
them
was
on
it
all
was
night.
very creepy though. It's like I honestly got it was weird. It's like I fell asleep around I don't know 9 maybe
Right,
not
right.
10,
Yep.
and had like the best sleep. And then I would wake up at like 1 a.m. and I was immediately like paranoid for some weird reason. And I'd wake up and I'd just like sit up in my bed and I'd look all around the room
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'd lay back down. I did it like 3 times that night. But at the same time, I
Ooh.
slept so solid. It was
Yeah.
like
Crazy.
it's like I guess there might have been some spirits around me, but like
Look,
think you
I was at
New
ease at the same
Orleans is-
time.
It's crazy the way it was because they were having tours of people coming down and they would
Oh,
stop
yeah.
in front of our hotel.
Yeah, they would.
And they would tell people about the axe murder, people that were murdered.
It was
there
a
and
tour
everything.
attraction.
Yeah,
They come by there every 20 minutes.
The people that were murdered in the hotel that y'all are staying in.
Yes.
Axe murder.
It was
Yeah.
an axe murder. And
Axe murder.
apparently that's where he hung out.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it was crazy. And then they say New Orleans is bad. I mean
I mean, it could be rough.
it has a lot
Look,
of
we had a lot of
homeless-
people tell us that New Orleans was gonna be bad. Like everybody, like Scott. Apparently, Scott's never like been in like the French Quarter. Quarter.
There we go.
And anyways, so like when Scott before we went down there, he was asking the contractors that we were at the job sites at, random people, hey, y'all know anything about New Orleans?
What did that
The
one
contractor
say?
goes, oh yeah, I used to live in New Orleans. Man, it was bad when I lived there. It's worse now. We were like, dang.
That's the best guy to sell this.
That's
So
pretty
I look at Hunt and I go,
inspiring.
why are we going there?
Yeah, I know, right? So, but we got down there and it was pretty good. Traffic was fine. It was cool.
Yeah. not bad.
And
So
we
it
walked.
wasn't an indicator of what come.
No,
There
it
was
wasn't.
a
We didn't
homeless-
really do anything though in
We
New
just
Orleans.
walked
We were
around.
good. We were good in
Yeah,
New
yeah,
Orleans.
we
We
did.
didn't.
We
We went to
walked.
Landry's.
Yeah,
that
Landry's to eat, and we just walked around.
Yep.
It wasn't like we went partying and stuff.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a good
You
time.
guys stay out of the gentleman's club while y'all were in.
We went to no gentleman's club,
No gentlemen's clubs. I'm restricted from those.
and I want to say I am too.
Yep.
I might get in a little trouble. So
Well, that does take me back to the story.
and we
where
don't. No,
Office
we're not
went
telling
in.
that story.
And
we-
Yeah, Brandon. No stories like
No
that,
story,
man.
okay.
So
Oh, another time, guys.
save that one for another episode there.
Yes.
So what else has been up, guys?
we got well, we could talk about some of the business bring into a bonfire.
Yeah.
We can go ahead. And
How
talk
about we just
About the
explain to
schools.
ourselves like what we do? Maybe that'd be good.
You know,
Well, let's talk about our background of what we all do.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Big Mike, you go first. Like with well, Oh,
So basically, my name's Big Mike, aka the Master Technician, Guru Electronics.
Little
That's right.
Mike sometime.
Big
Little-
Mike in the streets. Mike in the sheets.
These guys think they got jokes. Wait till they say their name.
All right. So what do you do? What do you do?
Basically, I help run Guru Electronics, which is an appliance repair company. Um, we're opening up multiple different adventures. I'm going to let the owner get into that. But however, my sole purpose is to make sure that Guru Electronics service runs smoothly and no errors, efficiency. So that's basically my role.
Do a good job.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit more though about how you got to this role in Guru Electronics. Maybe some other jobs and experiences that you had along the way that kind of changed
Yeah.
your idea of what you wanted to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
in your
yeah.
life.
So I've known Master Chief over there for quite a while, and it's kind of crazy. I can give the whole rundown.
Let's hear it.
So basically, like, I've been with Master Chief's daughter since I was in ninth grade,
Ooh.
and we're definitely soulmates. And you know, it's crazy because I've always been around Scott, and I've always or Master Chief, and I've always known that he'd done appliance repair, and I even ran jobs with him sometimes, and I just never got into it. Like, even when I was younger, I just never like really just dedicated myself to it. So I left Bonifay right when I graduated, and I started doing some other things. I went to college for a little bit, then I kind of got out of college, and then I started working offshore for a little bit, and it was pretty good working offshore. I worked on tugboats in Houston, and it was just a different experience out there. It was like a lifestyle that you had to live, you know, and it really made me grow up in a sense. So like I kind of turned from being like a little kid in a sense, and I just started like doing things for myself, you know, cooking, cleaning, taking care of things around the boat, and it was pretty funny. So like right when I walked onto the boat, had no idea how to like couldn't make an egg, couldn't do anything. I didn't know how to like get a waffle together,
Couldn't make a ham and cheese sandwich.
dude. Well, I mean, I might could have done that, but I mean, like it was rough though, you know. Like I didn't know, and then like I got on this boat, and they got the most expensive, like nice food, lobster, steak, scallops, anything, you know, like that you would maybe want. And right when I walked on the boat, they go, "You better know how to cook." And I'm just like, "Dang." Like I'm already nervous because like people's told me horror because we had to go through like a deckhand training school, and like people would tell me horror stories, dude, and they would be like, "If you don't know how to do anything, you just need to know how to cook." That's it. That's all they would tell me. And so right when they got on the boat, I was just hoping that they wouldn't act like that. And then they acted like that immediately. So like I'm just instantly nervous. So the whole first night I'm sitting there, I'm like Googling like how to make French toast, like how to like make eggs, like all these crazy things. And but it was a great experience. I learned a lot from that. Moved on from that, did a little bit of sales with some insurance companies, and then that wasn't no fun. And then yep. And then so moved on from that, and then started talking to Scott a little bit actually. So like Brandon was running Guru, and I wasn't. I mean, Brandon's always been my brother-in-law in my mind, but like I just didn't really venture to Guru, and so I left that, and I started talking to Scott, and Scott's like, "Yeah, man, I might could find you a job, you know." Didn't really, because Scott wasn't doing appliance repair at the time. He may have been,
I don't.
but I know Brandon was doing it.
Right.
You may have been. But anyways, I was talking to you about it, and you said, we'll talk to Ashley, Mobile Appliance. And so Scott calls up Ashley with Mobile Appliance. This is guy's a sales rep, sells appliances. And
A guy named Ashley.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's
Okay.
different, right? Southern. I don't know. Is that so?
I don't.
That's definitely an old school name though.
Little Johnny Cash for sure.
Like Becky?
It's like dude's name Lindsay.
My name is Sue.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Lindsay,
wanted
that's
to
a
I bet
girl.
Ashley's
Yeah.
a tough guy, man. He probably got beat up in school.
Yeah, probably.
Something like
I don't
that.
know. But
Don't make fun of him.
anyways, though, so Scott introduced me to this guy named Ashley, and then he introduced me to the devil. and I worked for this guy named Alan for a little while.
Okay.
And Alan, man, he just different type of guy, man. He just
a good person.
yeah, it's just hard. It's hard to work for somebody like him. Anyways, though, we did appliance installs, and so I learned how to install all these big, like residential slash commercial grade products, and did that for probably about 2 years, maybe three, and then I quit Allen, ran my own company doing it for a little while, me and a buddy of mine, and so we ran our own company, did the exact same thing for probably about 2 years, I would say, maybe a year and a half, 2 years we did that. And then, man, I just started getting such back pain. That was terrible. I got back pain. I couldn't even get out of bed. And then seen me one day, and I was riding a car with him, and I couldn't even get out of the car to get into the house. I had to sit in the car the whole time.
Install work is the toughest work.
Dude, it was so
I
hard.
tried my best to get him to come over.
Yes,
Come
talked-
over sooner.
I talked to him a year after he started his business, and I kept saying, "Hunter, come on, man,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on."
And what did I do though?
A year later,
Yeah, I did it though.
Yeah.
And look,
a year later,
honestly, though, I like doing appliance work because it got me affiliated when I got into service. Because
Yeah.
when I did the appliance work, I had to hook up the water valves. I had to know where the melting screws were at, the pull-in units, to push-in units,
Yeah.
drain hose connections. All of this stuff came into play when I got into service. So when people would talk to me and they say, "Well, go to the water valve." Well, when you're a new tech and you're working on a different product that you never seen before, you're like, "Water valve in the back of this sure is looking the on Bosch is in the back."
Sure.
So like you just don't really know, you know what I'm saying? So it got me affiliated with it. Definitely helped me. And then I've been servicing. I still service now to this day, but I mean, I'm strictly servicing. I did it for about 2 years.
Right.
So you'd say your experience with the installs and running your own business did give you a leg up.
100%, man. 100%. It taught me just kind of the ins and outs, how people talk to people with distributors, things like that. Because look, there's a lingo that you have to speak
Correct.
in the appliance world to get things done.
And there's not to cut you off, there's a temperament that you have to have whenever you're going into somebody's house to service it. You
Yeah.
have to have, you got to have confidence.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have to be able to relax and make them feel comfortable with your presence.
100%. Yeah,
It's a big
definitely.
part of the business.
Definitely. Social skills, man. You gotta be able to communicate. You gotta be able to de-escalate things when things are very escalated. Um, choose your words wisely.
Yes.
Those are
Big
skills
times.
that you can
Yeah.
apply to all aspects of life.
It's
too.
pretty crazy. But look, being in somebody's I've been in homes and I've had people beating on the appliance, like punching the appliance in front of me because the ice maker doesn't
I
work.
remember you.
You know what I'm saying? And I open the door and the bucket's full of ice.
Yeah.
It works.
He was upset about the green light.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
it
mad.
wasn't the
That's
green
what it was.
light.
He was mad because the green light didn't come on. And I'm like, dude,
Don't have
it don't even have a light on it. This ain't even, he thought this little test button was the green light. It's just a button you push. Oh my goodness. And he's like, it's in the manual. Like punching the refrigerator. And I'm like, sir, go get your manual. We will look at it together. And I will show you that this thing's not supposed to have a green light. And this guy could barely move around his house. He had stuff everywhere.
Oh,
Had a little trail he walked through to his living room, and he
Fixing
couldn't
it.
ever find the manual.
He's fixing to give himself a heart attack, getting worked up
Oh,
over this
dude.
ice
Right,
maker
right.
light.
The worst part is I had a trainee with me, and the trainee's seen everything. So
Oh,
like
no.
he's like sitting there, and it was Trevin. Yeah, and so Trevin's just sitting there, and he's like, "What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" And Trevin's like examining the room, like guns hanging around everywhere. There's a gun on top of the refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy. And like Trevin's like, "What do I do?" And like honestly though, in that kind of situation, I felt like I did good because I never escalated. Like
Stayed
I
the
was just
same.
like, "Look,
Yeah.
sir, I understand you're mad about this. If you seen this in your manual, please go get it. Let's look at it together and maybe we can talk about it some
That's the
more."
way it works.
You know what I mean? But it was fun, and that's just one of the things. You know, everybody's got
million.
stories.
Oh yeah, we could write a book of
Yeah.
all the stories we've all experienced
crazy,
doing
man.
this line of work.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, I guess I will take the next spot on the mic and talk about kind of what's gotten me to this point in my life.
Is
Growing
it
up,
OG Hollis?
OG Hollis's turn. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm only 25, but I feel like I've got enough experience in life to have earned my OG status early. But
100%.
growing up, my parents divorced at an early age. Went to about 14 different schools growing up. Always the new kid. I think it helps with being able to talk to people and being in
Yeah.
circumstances or situations where you're the new guy walking in and there's 10 people looking at you expecting you to have all the answers.
Like a movie.
Yeah. Hey, it's cool being the new kid. And, you always have that new kid effect. Girls think you're cuter for a little while, and so they get you come to school with pit stains and dog shit tracked in on your shoes. But nonetheless, new kid in school. Didn't have a ton of money growing up. Probably uh, summer of eighth grade years when I first started working. Did fencing over the summer, and then by ninth grade started high school. Decided, that I wanted to be successful with my life. I wanted to do well in football. So I grinded really hard day in and day out, working hard to excel in football, get stronger weightlifting. I wanted a vehicle. I wanted to be able to take my buddies out on the weekend, wanted to take girls out on dates. And so started working part time, of course. My ninth grade year, once you turn 15 in Texas, you were able to get a job. And so turned 15, started working nights after school every day at the local fast food restaurant, Chicken E. Shout out Chicken E. Yeah. Shout out Donna and Keith up there at Chicken E in Mineral Wells, Texas. But started working there, worked there all throughout high school. In the summers, worked 2 jobs as a lifeguard out there in the summer, while also doing 2-a-days, track workouts, all that good stuff. And all those experiences gave me a sense of work ethic and a drive to be successful in my life. After I graduated, I went out to college. I've always done really well at writing. That's something I've always done well at in school. And so I did so well on my SAT writing portion that a lot of my college was paid for. Basically, all of it was paid for on scholarships and grants. However, I moved out to Stephenville, Texas, went to Tarleton State. Um, we moved into an apartment. Me and my close friend Josh moved out there as soon as high school was over. So we moved out there probably 2 months before the semester starts. We started partying like crazy, living the college life. I was still working 2 jobs. I was working on a dairy ranch out in Dublin, Texas, um, fucking hay bales, welding, milking cows, doing all that fun stuff, and then still working as a lifeguard at Splashville. So 2 jobs. School started. Busy partying, having a good time, working, trying to pay for my apartment and gas to put in my truck and
Now, did you usually have
be
to
around
rescue
kids.
anyone though while you were doing like the lifeguard work?
Yeah.
I feel that job's like for a bunch of stoners that just want to sit in the sun and sunbathe all their life.
That's why it was a good fit for me. Definitely have known my way around the devil's lettuce a little bit in my life. But yeah, I've saved a few people. It's definitely a rewarding and good feeling whenever you pull a little girl out of the water, and then once she gets her wits about her, she comes up and hugs her leg, and her mom and her thank you for pulling her out and taking care
You
of
get them
her.
like CPR.
No, I didn't have to give her CPR or anything. She, like this one in particular, she went in on a slide. It was out at Unks Lake, which is a man-made lake out in Texas. Lifeguarding at the lake at the time, and she went in off of the slide. As soon as she hit the water, just went to flail. She had no clue how to swim, but she was going to
Dang.
ride that slide. So
Oh, shoot.
hopped in, pulled her to the side,
I've
got
done
her
that
out,
too.
and
When I was a little kid, I think I've done that a time or
Yeah.
two. Just jumped in the water and just started drowning.
Yeah. Hey, sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
Like that's in life and business in the water. That's the way it is. And,
Yeah.
a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So probably 2 months into my college experience, wasn't getting a lot of sleep, wasn't showing up to many classes. I wound up dropping out. My school that was paid for on scholarships and grants, I now had to pay back probably $3,500 because I dropped out too late in the semester and the grants weren't going to pay for it at that point. So I began working, did an electrician apprenticeship for about 2 years, working under my man Bobby McGee and alongside my buddy Josh Hardy. Um, uh, that was a really good experience for me, learning how to do electric work, gaining those skills, because I believe in being able to do stuff for yourself and applying skills that you've learned to give you a leg up in life, whether that's saving money and not having to pay a contractor to do it, or whether that's being able to provide a living and a way to earn money. So did that for a couple of years. Decided that I needed to make a change in my life at the time, not to get in too deep into everything that was going on. And so I came back to Florida or Alabama, where my dad lives and most of my family is, left Texas, came out here, worked as a heavy equipment operator on Fort Rucker for a little while. Met Meg, which is also the Master Chief's daughter. So Big Mike
different
and
daughter.
yeah, his other, different daughter.
Yeah. There's two.
So
This is gonna
me
get
and
really
Big Mike
awkward.
here. Yeah, we're not sharing Scott's daughter. He's got two of them. So met her. That put me in touch with Scott, Master Chief. He gave me the opportunity to ride along with him and learn the appliance repair side of business. That was probably one of the most important things that have happened in my life up to this point, because it gave me an opportunity to learn new skills, apply the electrician skills I already had, and then earn an honest living and get paid good for the work you do, rather than working for some guy who's going to pay you the least and expect from you. And not to say it's still good to do more than you're paid for until you're paid more than what you do, but you got to put in the work and sacrifice to that point. So Master Chief taught me the skills. I've been doing technician work for about 5.5 years. I've now since been taken off the road and in more of the office management position, as well as being a technician instructor. We're currently working on developing Appliance Guy Academy, which is going to be a technical school where guys can come straight out of high school, straight out of the military, or just looking for a new career, and they can come and train with us, learn all the hands-on and book skills that will be needed and that can accelerate them and put them in a good position to make money like all of us here have, and be able to provide a good life for them and their families. So that's kind of where we're at now, working on developing that school, trying to manage these guys, make sure our service business is running well, and also expand into other businesses and use all the skills and knowledge we've learned with this one so far and apply it to the new ones. So I think that kind of does it for me. And
Well, I got a question
Yeah, what's
for
up?
all three of y'all. Y'all remember the first appliance y'all ever worked on by yourselves? Like this is the first job that y'all did.
I do.
No.
I remember my first one.
I remember my very first
All
one.
right.
For Scott, it was in like the 18th century, so we can't expect him to remember that far back.
All right. OG Hoss, you
Correct.
go first on that state. Let's see what is it that was your first appliance?
The first one I worked on was a dishwasher for a builder. Anytime you start off, when you ride along with somebody and you train with them, it's sort of like they're holding your hand and you get comfortable with that. And then once you're out on your own, it's like all the things you thought you learned were just thrown out the window. It's like whenever you're
No doubt.
training for a race and you've been working on your form and you've been working on your speed and all this stuff, and then you get down on the starting line and they fire the gun off and you forget everything you learned and you just take off sprinting. And so that's kind of what it was like. I get in there, second guessing everything in the world that I think I know, calling Big Chief here over and over, asking for advice, asking to reassure myself that I'm doing the right thing. And it was a simple job. It was a dishwasher that had a bad inlet valve, so I thought. I just so happened to have one with me, so I went out to the truck, got a new inlet valve, put it on. Nothing happened. Still doesn't fill with water. So now I'm just scratching my head wondering what I could have done wrong. And then it occurs to me I forgot to turn the water back on once I changed it. Calmed the nerves, got the water switched back on, and everything went good from there on with that.
Good.
That happens.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what about you, Hunt? Or
That
Big
happens.
Mike?
Well, I want to say this about now. Grant rode with me. How long did he ride? About a year?
No, about 4 months.
4 months. Okay,
Yeah.
he rode with me about 4 months before we threw him out there. Hunter, how long did you train before we threw you out there?
3 weeks.
I
was out.
Hunter had the sink or swim moments.
So it's sort of funny. That
Y'all heard me when I was upset.
Yes, I remember that.
Oh Lord! And I would say to you, everything's gonna be all right, man. Just do it.
I know you did.
Hunter go at the end of the day. Go, yeah, you were right.
You know, I have learned that though. Like, I mean, just what I have learned from you and Brandon is patience.
Yes.
Like, y'all have more patience than anybody I know. And I'm still kind of developing it, you
Yeah,
know,
you had to have
especially with the
that. It's
technicians that we have.
Patience is a
Yes.
virtue.
But it, it'll get you by every day without stressing. If you can really master the patient,
100%.
like
Look,
100%.
I want to say this about Appliance Guy Academy. So if you're listening to this, we're going to be bringing kids in. We're going to come up with a price on what it's going to cost to do the school. But this line of work is just not here. You can go to any state,
Definitely.
any city, and they're looking for people that do this line of work because there's nobody. Everybody's going away.
Definitely.
There's only about 3 schools in the country that you can go to train at. You can, as Steve says, get a job anywhere doing this line of work. There's a high
Exactly.
demand for people who have
Yes.
skills.
And look, it pays good. It pays more than, the job. I mean, if you do it right, you can make tons of money. So it's not that you're just going to, they don't allow it to appliance repair to be like a HVAC, plumbers or electricians. You never hear that, but they make just as much money as those guys do, or even more, when they do this line of work. And then if y'all come to our school, y'all have an opportunity to go to work for us. I mean, we're hiring. So just want to throw that out there. That's something we're bringing up real soon.
Bringing the bonus.
Bringing the Bonifay.
Bringing the bottom.
And when I turned it off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wanted to know how you got into appliance repair and how long you've been doing it for.
So I'm not going to tell you my whole life story.
Well, hold on.
Oh.
Scott has some good, or Master Chief here has a lot of good stories about his appliance repair. I want to hear, Big Mike over here on his story.
Oh,
Which
you
one?
go.
My
Well,
first one
your
I've ever
first appliance you ever worked on.
I ran it. I ended up having to run it like 4 times. I went to this lady's house like 4 times, and Scott went with me one time to it.
They
Is
got
that
to know
when we
you good
fixed
out
it?
there, huh?
And that's when I said this wire was off on. Oh, yeah.
No, this was the one with the French door frigidaires that had the fill tube that would freeze up the refrigerator.
Okay.
Oh, in the
section.
refrigerator section.
Yeah, the
Yep.
one that we just ran the other day. And at the time, Scott had no idea about this bulletin repair, and neither did I, of course.
Right. We did.
And so we show up to this late house, and we're replacing the ice maker, we're replacing the water valve, we replaced everything on it. We couldn't figure it out.
Bunch of part changing monkeys.
Yeah, that's what we were. That's what we were. And then it got scheduled back on me, and I ran those first 2 times with Scott, and because like I don't know what I'm doing, and then they got scheduled back on me, and that's when I got thrown out there.
Yep.
And so I was like, Scott, this is that one that we ran twice, and I have no idea what this can be. I don't know what to do when I get there. And,
Call
and
tech
that's
line.
when, no, I think that's when, I think that's when we talked to either one of y'all, and y'all said, "Oh, did y'all tape up the fill tube?"
Yes.
They call
And then that's the 3rd time I went out there. I
GIs.
taped up the fill tube, and it started working. Never got a call back.
Yes.
It's all about.
It is. That's literally like live and learn. Even though you
Yeah.
don't want to run, because like that day, that morning that I seen that lady's
Yep.
name on my route,
Yep.
I was telling Scott, I was like, I don't know
Already
this
freaked
lady.
out.
I don't know what I'm doing. Y'all are just throwing me out here. Like I was like going off on Scott, and Scott looked at me, and goes, "That's it. You ain't running no calls today." And then took every my hat off of me. Said, "Look, man, you don't have to do that."
I'll run it. And
I
then
said,
at
"I'll
the-
run it."
And then at the end of the day, he goes, "It wasn't really that bad."
Yeah, it's bad. You get upset about something, and then you do it, and you're like, it wasn't that bad.
Well, the appliance field itself is, I usually would call it just appliance practice.
So-
because we're learning about all kinds of things.
Tiny, what was your first call you've done?
Well, I wanted to add too. That's one thing about Ordinary Excellence and the people that we're going to bring on the show. And what are some qualities of somebody who's a leader that's excelled at this excellence is that you reach out to your resources. You surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Try and build people around you that have skills that you don't have, so that if you need to, you can outsource to them, or you can call them and count on them and rely on their knowledge
100%.
and help each other out and help each other be successful. It's a huge part
That's
of
a
it.
big part of it.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're one big family here, so we're all
Yes,
about
we are.
helping each other out and trying to make everyone.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
There's a lot of businesses in this building that we're in. I
It's-
didn't
yeah,
even
there's a-
know that was in Bonifay. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
me
saying?
too,
Just
yeah.
like people that's here, that I was like, dang,
So
I didn't even know we
again,
had this stuff.
what we're going to do, not just for Bonifay, but other places, we're going to let people know these businesses in Bonifay. People don't even know about them.
Yeah.
I mean, and why can't we help that, and help these people, let them know that.
Well,
Hell
yeah,
yes.
just to give, recognition at
Yeah,
least, for other
Mhm. Sure.
But well, going back on the subject about first appliances being repaired, I remember my first one.
That was a long time ago.
It was. I'm
How
older.
old are you?
I was I 12 or 13 when
I hadn't seen you out
He
by
drove
his
to the
window
customer's house at 13 and 12.
I was 14. I
You
rode
rode
with
your
my
bike over there or what?
well, no, my first appliance I ever
That's what
touched
Scott
that my
was
father
doing.
would not tell me how to repair. He wanted me to work on it, but he was with me.
He wanted you to troubleshoot it
He
yourself.
wanted to troubleshoot it, tell me what's wrong with it. He wouldn't tell me what's wrong with it. He would just say what's wrong with it. He would just throw me out there. I was 14 trying to figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
And it was a top load Whirlpool washer, direct drive unit, very old school. And
Best machines ever.
oh,
100%.
don't get me wrong, Whirlpool did go to shit now. Yeah. but those but those old school units, the only thing that would always break on them is the coupling between the motor and the transmission.
Correct.
Of course, I didn't know that. I couldn't figure out how to bypass the switch to see, is the motor going to turn? Is it like, as a 14-year-old, I didn't understand any of this. My process of elimination for appliances was just horrible. Like, it wasn't even the best ever. But when I started to learn, I had to hurt myself in the process. I burned myself. I hurt my hand.
Yeah.
All because he wanted
No,
to teach
he's
me.
being funny. He asked me if a bake element was hot, and I said, "Well, why don't you touch it and
Yeah.
see?"
But the sad part is I left my finger on there 5 seconds longer than I
Burned his
should.
hand.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So-
where I learned ovens get hot, guys. I
so
don't know if y'all know this, but those helmets get
I
hot.
want to say this to you. At 14, he learned some stuff and said, "I'm going to IT."
Yeah.
He did not do appliance repair
That's-
no more.
Well, that's when we were Beasley's back in the day.
Yes.
And we left from there, and that's when I did IT work for the longest time. That's how I could see doing all this kind of stuff. And
But has turned to be a master technician.
yes,
as an
I came
appliance
back and
repair.
I decided to do more master technician work, and it's changed my life a lot. I mean, I've learned so much from master here and from the people that I work with and everything.
I want to say all three of us appreciate Brandon because we have jobs.
Yes.
So
He's the
Brandon,
guy
you
that signs
owning
the
the
checks.
business. He owns the business. He keeps us going, but we take care of him. But he does take care of us. I want to
And
say if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have podcast nor guru.
that's right. And sometimes learning is painful. Sometimes you have to go through some
Yes.
painful experiences that are painstakingly difficult and uncomfortable before you learn. And a lot of times that's learned best. Go through the uncomfortable place.
And that's almost a hard thing to explain to a customer, that in this kind of field of work, that since there's no school for it, that it's all trial and error. I mean, if you're
I have trial somebody's house. I know what.
well, you've been doing it for 40 years.
I agree with Scott. I know what's wrong too.
Yeah.
me.
Well, I'm saying when
No
you
trial and error on nobody's appliance.
I need to take that back. I'm saying when you first start, you're first starting your appliance company.
Yeah, that's
You're new at this. You don't never.
don't do it.
Well, I can say,
Don't do it.
I say if you're doing appliance repair and you're brand new at it, YouTube and Google's your best friend.
Yes.
Always remember that's in your back pocket. Never look down on that. You have to use some kind of platform that can help you. I mean, either way, I always recommend Googling, YouTube, anything like that that can help you figure out on what's wrong with the appliance. Of course, the customer might look at you funny when they're wondering why you're staring at your phone, trying to figure out, does he know what he's doing? And that's like the one key thing.
I've
Customer-
YouTube stuff. Customer's house right now. Their machine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not like they know it. If they knew it, shoot, they wouldn't be asking
I
us.
just feel like I'm real too honest. I'm just like, I'm not even gonna hide this from you. Like you can just watch me watch this video of how to do it. Like
Yeah.
if you have a question about it, look, in the end, I'm just here to fix it. So just give me a second.
And a lot of
But
people
typically that's only for newer techs that really do
if
that.
you're I'm gonna say vulnerable enough to be fully open and honest with somebody and admit to them whenever you don't know something, or when you make a mistake, they're more likely to trust you in the end because you've been
100%.
honest about the other.
That's
things.
happened to me so many times, man.
Yeah.
Just like me being honest has just got me out of situations, honestly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But you do have the Karen use that against you. They call
Oh,
your
yeah.
boss and go, "You send somebody out here don't know what they're doing."
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
told me. He said he's never seen this before.
Yeah. How do you defend that?
Then I'll go, bam, let me call this technician.
Yeah.
Call you right back.
Hey, buddy, you got to go back out there.
That's when you get good at explaining. Look, I've worked on 100 of these. I just haven't seen this particular model yet. But
Yes.
I'm
That
gonna work
comes
my
with
way
experience, guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
everything. You know, the better you are is because of experience, and that's why you have to charge what you're worth, because experience and the time you put into something is value, and you're
Mhm.
creating value for yourself by putting in the time and experience to learn and excel.
Definitely.
And I want to say that Guru's fixing the best service in Mobile and Mississippi.
Absolutely.
We're gonna
We
train
definitely have the
every one
potential.
of our technicians still certified,
Great management team.
great management team intact right
Yeah.
Yes.
Not many companies have that, and that's what
No.
hurts people.
So Scott, whenever you were coming up, there were more appliance training schools, right? Like, didn't they
here. I want to
teach?
say that I learned it in high school.
So they
so-
taught it in high school.
My 10th, 12th grade, I took it in high school, but I took it as a fun class, not a
Serious
lifelong
class.
job
Yeah.
or anything. You know?
Yeah.
So I just took it in high school and went from there. Rode my bicycle to my first job
Wow.
as an appliance guy. I rode with a guy all day. And
Did you have a
worked.
basket in front of it with your tools in it?
Looking like
Actually,
EC?
it was a
Yeah.
10-speed bicycle.
Whoa,
Oh,
mountain
someone
bike.
And
Oh.
I bought that on my own. So
Dang.
I rode it to work every day. And
You didn't even have to pedal on that
and
thing.
then I've been doing it. For a while, so, hey, this line of work, like that all nature. Somebody's asked me something like
Yeah.
I didn't even know they had 10-speed bikes back
they did, man, not a horse and buggy.
then.
Got on my 10-speed bike, rode it to work.
Oh shoot.
Oh gosh.
And you
So,
worked for a guy? That's how you
I
got your
did.
jobs, or
I
did you
did.
just kind of do it like
First
local
job,
advertisement?
The guy's name was Frank, and it was Frank Appliance Service. It was about a mile from the house. I rode my bicycle there every day, and he put up with me. You know, I wasn't the smartest kid. He taught me as much as he could, and of course I didn't show up for work.
How long do you think it took you before you actually started getting comfortable? Like 6 months?
I want to say I didn't have y'all had. Understand that. I learned on my own. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have school. I learned trial and
So you'd spend a lot of time on calls.
100
Yeah.
in and out. I could take 3 calls.
Yeah.
Especially
Well,
working on
not only
the old
that,
stuff.
there's no cell phones and no GPS.
Nothing.
Yeah, so you're having to rely on old
Call them by the payphone.
Yeah, every day.
You just run a call. After you get done, go find a payphone, call them. Hey, can you give me your address? Look on the map, figure it out on the way there.
Wow.
Dang, that's crazy.
I don't know how we
That
did
takes
it.
up so much time. You
don't
wouldn't
know
be
how
able
we
to cover 6 calls a day.
6 calls
Now
a
we're
day.
running 8 to 12 a day, maybe.
Getting
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Our guys are getting off 12.
3.
3 o'clock every day.
I don't know how the world they did that.
Listen, we got to crack on that whip a little bit.
Yeah.
These boys got to work 8 to
Listen,
5.
we're going to have a lot of changes going.
Oh yeah.
So let's start with this podcast.
Bi-weekly probably right now.
Bi-weekly or once a week.
Yeah, just
know, we're
depending on how popular it gets and
You know,
if
we're gonna
people
bring in
want to
people.
talk.
Look, if this is live on Facebook, if y'all know people y'all might want us to bring in and talk, do that.
Yeah.
If y'all have questions for them, let us know what questions you want to ask.
Yep.
But the person we got coming next week, and Leslie Hartfield, I think.
I don't know. We're gonna we just need to make sure everything is good to go. You know.
Oh yeah.
Nervous.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay,
mean,
don't
look,
start
we
name
still have
dropping,
to
they
we
can
still
still
have to get a
cancel.
bunch of information from her. We have to go over things. It's,
Right, with Joe.
Yeah,
Look,
so,
we're gonna, this is
look,
gonna
there's
be
no rush. We can just
Oh yeah. This
but
this
whenever
podcast
it
is
happens,
just-
it happens.
Hunter. Thank goodness you're not.
Yes, thank goodness. Because if I was, it'd be more planned out.
We would be.
I could guarantee that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
definitely
but
winging it. You can definitely tell that we're winging this right
look,
now.
so we're just gonna bring different people in, and we'll let y'all know a week ahead. So if y'all want to have questions for them, or something that we can do, to ask them or make it better as a podcast, like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely. Any kind of questions that need to be asked.
Yeah, and like Scott said, if y'all have any suggestions, local business owners who want to get their business out there, what they do, anybody, community leaders, leaders of nonprofit organizations, whatever the case may be, they've got a spot here on the podcast to come on and talk about it.
Yes. So
So what's new with you guys, Brandon? What you got going on?
Well, the stuff that we're trying to push out and promote. I mean, with the Appliance Guy Academy gurus, and of course, we're also bringing in a laundromat as well. But
coinless laundromat.
coinless, and that's something that we're going to be setting up for way out in the future. But it's going to be definitely something we're going to apply for.
Not way out.
Yeah, not like probably within 2 years.
Good.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I got my ears lowered today.
Well, you did.
Went
I
and got a
got all his
haircut.
haircut off.
Yep, cut my hair off. It was
He
a
is
little
not
bit
going
lower.
to shave his beard and stuff. He's
Gonna
not doing
shave
that.
my beard.
No, he's not.
Shave my chest.
No, he's not.
Shave my butt cheeks.
No, he's not.
I'm doing it all the way.
All right, hold on now. No more.
you're going to be completely hairless, aren't you?
Making some changes.
That's good, man.
Yeah, making some changes.
What's the purpose of the change?
Purpose of the changes? Originally, like going into this, I've had a lot of stuff on my plate lately. A lot of things going through my mind and changes that I want to make, and I think I'm starting to understand that it's not so much about making changes to become somebody else, but it's more about making changes to lose the traits that aren't who I am and be more who I truly am on the inside. So I'm not trying to be anybody else. I'm just trying to lose characteristics that aren't who I am, that I've developed from stuff that maybe ways I act because they got me attention in the past, or because I thought, hey, this is how Hollis is supposed to act. This is what people expect from Hollis. And so I'm going through some times where I'm cutting out on stuff that's not who I am, and becoming the person who I'm meant to be.
What stuff?
So you're like,
Well, I want to know what he's cutting out. What are you cutting out of your life there, Hollis?
okay.
So I'm cutting out.
You don't have to share it if you don't want to.
No,
Just
no,
ask.
I'm
Okay.
cool. Yeah, yeah. You can ask me anything. I'm an open book, with plenty of words on the pages, baby. But I'm cutting out a few things. One of the things in particular, always struggled with some video game addiction. This is an unpopular opinion because some of my guys here love video games as much as I do.
Right.
I'm Grant.
Oh, G. Hollis.
Cutting out the video games, you get to a point where come home after a stressful day of work or something and sat down and played a video game, and it released that stress from you. Next day you come home equally or more stressed out. Mine, you knew, hey, last time I was this stressed out, I played a video game, and so that released the stress. And so eventually you build that habit of coming home and playing a video game or watching TV or whatever it is to release that stress. And that's okay. It's good to have a source to release your stress with, but whenever you build a habit of doing it all the time, it becomes something that's not productive for developing qualities that you're trying to do. And so that's one thing, is the video games.
So do you have like other things in place to take these things place?
So I've always been physically active. I've always loved working out and things of that nature. Whenever you get deep into playing the video games like I have, it tends to distract you, and it's a easier out than going to the gym and working on your fitness or working on your mental toughness and things of that nature.
It's like, hey, I'm gonna go home and play video games versus, hey, I'm
and try to become a better version of myself as yesterday, because playing the video games is fun, and it releases your stress, but at the end of the day, that's not developing your character and your skills to be a better version of yourself.
So with the look, is it more like a new look, new me type deal?
it's something like that. It's kind of like, I guess, the look of the long hair, the guy that, I've, if you know me,
Be careful.
yeah, if you know me, I've been
We all
smoking
got long hair.
cannabis for a long time. Look, I have nothing against people with long hair. I love long hair. But I developed a persona where I'm the long hair, pot smoking hippie, which I'm still a professional. I still carry myself with grace and talk to people and treat people well and things of that nature. But I would think that, hey, I need to do this or I need to smoke a joint before I can go to sleep every night because that's who I am. When really that's not who I am. That's just a habit that I've developed. And so I'm still a proponent of smoking cannabis or CBD. I believe in its health benefits, and I will still, at times, at the right time, partake in that. But I'm not gonna allow it to be a habit that dictates my life and kind of my schedule revolves around or anything like that. So I'm cutting out some bad habits, cannabis, the video games, drinking. Big part of my recollection on this and stuff is some health problems that I've been going through recently where I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, and smoking and alcohol and stuff kind of, not that they're ever good for your body, but they uh they enhance the bad qualities of the autoimmune disease that cause me pain and things of that nature. So I'm trying to make diet changes, trying to make lifestyle changes, trying to make habit changes so that I'm a healthier, fitter, smarter, better version of myself and more of an asset to the companies that I'm a part of, and can be a better resource for my guys around me, and a person that they can count on and know will be there and have a sound state of mind whenever they need something from me. And
good.
so it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not, like I said, there's nothing wrong with long hair, there's nothing wrong with a beard, but I feel like I just need to, I guess, kind of
You've
lose.
made all these changes very drastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like you rushed into these
If you
changes.
shave your beard, you're fired.
It's hard to stay sane if you make
Just
a
saying.
change so drastic. You know what I'm saying? So like if you literally cut out
You have to replace.
17 different things or 7 different, that you've done every day, and you don't think that's gonna like take a mental like toll on you of like depression and like
Well, I've been depressed even while playing video games and smoking marijuana and doing all these things. All it did was heighten my anxiety and depression because on the inside, I knew we all have an inner voice that pushes us to do the right thing, whether it's morally or whether it's in terms of the goals that you have and dreams you have in life. And whenever you're constantly silencing that voice and putting it on the back burner and basically numbing yourself with all these other things like games and marijuana and things like that, I think that it limits you from being what you could be otherwise. And I still think there's a place for it. I think that once you develop the habits and you replace, like you said, I'm changing all these things so drastically, but if I replace these bad habits with good habits, then I think these good habits will build and it'll get me to a place. Because one of the reasons that I built up anxiety and depression is because I'm playing video games, I'm smoking marijuana, and I'm doing all this, and it's numbing it. But still, in the back of my mind, I know all this shit that I need. Pardon the language. I know all the things that I need to do, and I'm not doing it. Instead, I'm procrastinating. I'm choosing to
What are
do
the things you need to
other
do?
things. For example, my taxes. I need to get that done. For example, building a curriculum for the Appliance Guy Academy. Just different things that if I build good habits and I work on them efficiently and work on them every day, then eventually I'll be done with all the things that are in the back of my mind that I need to do, and I'll be more free to do the things that I
I
enjoy,
would
which
agree
is
with that.
when I can reintroduce
So
video games. And I can,
let me ask this though. So, just my opinion, I'm an old guy.
okay.
So if only thought about work, even if it was for a month, or I only thought about the things that I needed to do, even if it was 2 months, there's no way. You gotta have. I'm not saying telling you on everything. Besides that, you know what I feel about me. But I'm just saying, um, not doing things that releases some stress. Your game. Say if you say I'm not playing another game in a month, I'm not condoning game playing every day, but you just can't concentrate on work. I'm saying,
I do.
and I just want you're gonna have to have an out. You're saying I know you're reading books and you're doing stuff like that.
Well, and his out is also
and you're working out. So
Yeah.
just I want to make sure that you're just not keying on that stuff because it's not you need curriculum that done.
Yeah.
But I still need you to have an out somewhere.
But I think a lot of the stress that you're having to escape from is a result of all the things that you know you need to be doing and you're choosing not to do instead and doing something that's not productive for you
Correct.
instead. So
You
I
can
feel
get-
like if you are proactive in that endeavor and chase those things that you know need to be done, once you're done with them, then you can truly be happy in the hobbies that you want to do and you're actually going to have more fun with it because you won't have the thing in the back of your mind saying, hey, you're playing this video game for 6 hours on Saturday and you got all the side caught up.
I agree.
I agree that video games can definitely be
Yeah.
100%.
I don't play video
Yeah.
problem.
But
I still play video games.
I watch a lot of
And there's, like I said, there's nothing wrong, and I'm gonna get back to playing video games. It's something that I love to do. It's a competition, and that's part of what I love about it is because I've always played sports and always been in competition, always a super competitive person, and so playing Call of Duty Warzone's my game right there. Okay, it's a competition. You're 1v1 and you're five other
he
people.
whoops Hunter's ass every time.
Hunter's on my team. I carry his ass every time. Okay, let's be clear on that. Thank you.
Okay.
No. Well, Hunter's good
carries
too.
me, Scott.
I carry him like a newborn baby.
Oh gosh! Now, let me ask you this: Is it seems to me, and I might say this at the wrong time, you're doing it on your own. That's what's difficult. You don't have anybody to fall on. You hear what I'm saying? You're at home by yourself, trying to do all this by yourself. How's that? How do you? In my mind, I would take it. I'm not seriously not have any help. I just don't think
No, it's a good question.
that's not a good quality though, because I think if you had somebody helping you with this personally, it could help you
and I do.
in the long run. Because seriously, I would be, I would, I wouldn't help. Terrible.
Yeah.
'Cause if you had- I'm saying,
And I agree with you, and I think it's something that is not a good characteristic to have either. But I guess it stems from like the way I grew up, where
you had nobody helping.
I
you.
didn't have anybody helping me. I have a brother, but whenever my parents divorced around age 10, my brother went and lived with my dad. So the most developmental years of my life, from like 11 to 18, I didn't have anybody to count on. I felt like my back was against the wall and I was the only one that could push off of that wall. And it had to be me. And so I think still to this day, I fight with allowing other people to help me. And I didn't have, I was living out in Texas. All my family's here. So I don't have any family here. It's just me and my mom out there. I'm having to deal with everything myself and putting it all on my shoulders and not counting on anybody else. Not to say that's the right way to do it at all, but I think that
Well, you
still to
didn't
this
have no
day, I feel like I have to do everything myself in order to fix it.
But
Do
you
it
know, you
right.
don't have.
Yeah.
Every guy at this table sit down with you, be with you.
Yeah.
Other people, family help. Also, just keep that.
Yeah, and y'all are like, y'all have taken me in as family, and y'all are my family, and family, I'm realizing
I know
more than
that.
ever,
Yeah.
family's not dictated by blood, but it's something that I still am going to be working on and trying to develop, allowing other people to help me and be there for me and not trying to do it all myself.
That's going to be difficult. But you have to. I mean,
How's your barn dominium?
I got my barn build going.
barn the video.
Yep,
Yep.
going up. It's going good.
First one in Bonifay. Or Graceville.
Graceville. Come on now.
yeah.
Sorry.
He's got to hurry. He's got till October.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you don't know, I'm a big gym equipment guy. We've got a Guru warehouse in
Hoarder.
Dothan. Gym equipment hoarder is probably a better term for it.
Got any gym equipment you want to sell cheap? He's the man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for
You
sure.
should
You got
definitely
any
buy it.
rare, uncommon, cool gym equipment? I'm the guy for it. Like,
Yes.
but I've got, and these guys have to deal with me because I've got their warehouse stocked full with about 30 different commercial
Oh.
gym machines in there that our lease is up in October and we're in the process of moving to our new building. And so
Yeah.
I've got to have a place for that to go. So I'm working on my barn build. I spent 4 full days last week with the help of my dad, brother, and my brother's friend John. Put up this massive 40-foot wide by 84-foot long and 25 feet high in the middle and 16-foot eaves on this barn.
2 story.
2 stories. We got it up. It's in the air. Everything's on it. We got to get a roof put on it. I'm I was so sick of heights after putting this thing up,
I can
man. I was
imagine.
like, I gotta find somebody else and just outsource and pay somebody to put a roof on it. So the roof's coming, concrete will be next, and then we'll start building out this thing. And I'm gonna be taking some videos, posting them on YouTube, and doing as much DIY on it as I can and
That's
sharing
gonna
it
be
with
cool.
everybody.
That's
Yeah,
That's gonna be interesting
I
to
actually
watch.
think that'd be cool too.
Yeah.
I like
I got-
condominiums. I see a lot of cool ones on like social media.
Yeah, I've been on Pinterest, like finding ideas that I like, and I've been posting to my Instagram story, like the process of building out the barn and what we've done so far, and had a lot of positive feedback of people saying how cool they thought it was, and they want me to continue putting stuff out. So I'm gonna get a little better. The main man for IT, Mr. Tiny over here, is gonna help me learn how to edit these videos and
Yeah.
get my
You
mic
can
and
do it.
video quality right, and
Yes.
put out some good quality videos like this podcast.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, I want to say, guys, we had a good podcast. I'm
Yeah.
thinking next week. Lord.
I don't know. Brandon's been looking at the comments, making some weird faces.
Oh, gee. That is. I don't even want to know about them.
yeah.
So we hope this goes good. We're gonna just
Oh,
clear
yeah.
out of this. I don't want to know. It's probably he's going. We ain't got any yet.
Oh, no. Oh, no. We do. I'll let y'all guess who's on the chat box. Who y'all think?
Megan.
No, not Meg. It's Master Chief's wife.
He's gonna be in trouble. He's gonna be in hot water.
Miss
So-
Chief.
So,
Her last comment saying, "Master Chief, I'll see you at home."
just say that
Someone might be in
my
hot water.
better half is Miss Beasley, the third grade math teacher. Oh, happy day!
Yep, one of the
Yep.
best women you'll ever know in
Best
your life.
school math teacher, best person in the whole world. We're
Do
naming our
anything for you.
laundromat. Oh, happy day laundromat when we come out
After Miss Beasley.
after Miss Beasley.
Yep,
She is
that's right.
not. She's informed me that she will not work there, but she did say we could use her saying
Although she is the absolute best at folding and doing laundry.
100%
Yes.
about doing it. We're doing a wash and fold. So people who don't want to wash their clothes, they can come to us. We'll wash it for you.
Drop
fold it,
off the bag,
drop off a bag.
get in your car, and leave.
That's exactly right.
Exactly
Flip it
right.
and tumble it.
Come
That's
back
right.
after school.
Come back.
We
For
fold it.
record time, 30 minutes.
100%. No, back up a little bit.
Hold on, let's not make those kind of promises.
We have.
We'll get those 1-star Yelp reviews real
Oh
quick.
gosh, let's not do that. So,
6 hours.
just, I think the podcast is going to be good. You know, we're going to get to see the businesses of Bonifay, Washington County, Watt County, Bay County. So, I think it's going to be great.
It's going to be good. We
Yep.
appreciate everybody tuning in for the first episode. It's going to get more smooth and seamless as we get more comfortable on
Yeah.
camera and in front of the mics. And we're already comfortable around each other. So the jokes will get flying, and this is going to be something you're going to want to tune in to see.
And please leave comments too. If the audio doesn't seem right or anything like that, please let us know.
Right.
Of course, we'll take all the ridicule in the world as long as it helps us push forward and be that excellent
I don't
or
take it
strive
too
for
well.
excellence.
All right, thank you.
So take your complaint department notes and shove them up here.
oh,
Yeah.
oh, I like that. I like that better, Grant.
Now we know why Grant needs help, right?
Oh,
That's right.
cute.
So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank
Yes,
you.
y'all have yourself a good one.
All right.